Hi, my name is Quentin Jones. I'm an illustrator and make animated fashion films. I guess because I've been working commercially quite a lot recently and for brands, then maybe that's not allowed to be under that bracket. But I think the stuff that I was doing earlier, and obviously while I was at St Martin's studying illustration, you would probably classify more as fine art, but because I've been working with brands, it kind of immediately makes it commercial art, which maybe isn't fine art, but it is still art, I guess. I think it was about Emma Chadwick as well. She went to my school, and her older sister is a kind of friend of mine from school, and she's really great. And I was my friend put her on a blog before, and I kind of wanted to do something with her. It was we wanted to kind of explore the kind of Chanel ladylike thing with something a bit grungier, and we wanted to have the ballet meeting the DMs, and we wanted to kind of look at these sort of juxtaposed things, and so ballet seemed like quite a nice classical art form to then put her in a Nike hoodie, and it just seemed like quite a nice combination. I think even though I work a lot with video art, I don't really look at video artists, it's more sort of fine artists, and I particularly like Dadaists, and who's my favourite, probably Hannah Hock, and more recent artists, Kitai and Marlene Dumas, and probably more painterly artists than how I work. But I guess I kind of look for inspiration in more classic art forms. I like animals a lot, so I really like dogs and cats, and I really like monkeys and birds, and I really like the feathers on birds and the eyes of cats. So yeah, I think animals, but I don't think I particularly watch nature programs. It's just sort of the idea of them. I think my style works quite well with fashion photography because it's quite rough, and I think because fashion photography tends to try and be so smooth and beautiful and slick, if you were to illustrate in the sort of more beautiful style of illustration, maybe more classic or sort of textural or fine, I don't think stands up often against fashion photography. I think what works well is sort of the juxtaposition of something quite rough or raw or torn against fashion photography, and I guess that's why what I did sort of started working really well with fashion photography. And yeah, so I guess it's not really a coincidence that I worked like that. I'm a bit lazy. I kind of was always like, rather than drawing the thing, just kind of ripping out the thing that I wanted, sticking it down and sort of adding the bit that I found exciting to do, which is the sort of final sort of flourishes that I add at the end, or the sort of bits where I'm drawing out the bit that I'm interested in the image. Because, at art school, everyone's, really at pain to try and draw everything beautifully, and I guess I just started going in the other direction because I got fed up with how long it was taking to do that. When I was a kid, I did quite a lot of stop motion with my mum's camcorder. We used to sort of, you go on, off, rather than taking stills and looping them together. It's actually using a camcorder. So I guess I found it quite fun when I was younger, and then I was doing it with using kind of fashion photography and different things, just playing around with it. And then it just started really clicking and working, so I just kept going. I'm not even sure if I have that much self-belief now. I think I feel visually more confident with what I was doing because I went into art. I started my MA having come from doing a BA in philosophy, and so all the other kids in my class were really trained as artists and, had been working as graphic designers for the last 10 years or photographers or illustrators, and they all felt quite confident with their sort of visual language. But I was kind of, like a bit scared to pick up the pencil in front of the rest of the class and stuff, but I knew I wanted to get good at it. And I think the more that other people kind of nod and say that what you're doing is cool, the more obviously you feel that you can kind of like perform in front of other people and stuff. And so, yeah, I guess the more you get patted on the back, the more confident you get. And so I'm, feeling a bit more cool about it now. When you look at what other people are doing, it's easy to kind of feel the pressure to either emulate that or try and be too different. But if you just do kind of what you want to do, then hopefully, and if you just be good at what you can do rather than trying to do what other people are doing, then, it's better to be good at it than kind of halfway to what someone else is doing, which is kind of obvious advice, I guess. Well, I guess, like I said, recently I've been working a lot for brands and a lot for Chanel in the last year and stuff for another magazine. So the things for Chanel, I mean, we're talking about nail varnish and stuff. So the depth to that is, not that deep. But I think for illustration more so, like recently I've been doing sort of self-portraits of different things, and I guess you're touching upon, more emotional depth and stuff. It's people who are used to having the cameras turned on them are kind of turning back on themselves, but in a self-knowing way, so that they're saying that I'm owning the camera looking at me rather than, being the sort of subject to the camera looking at you. It's just sort of empowering the idea that you are the subject rather than being completely passive and female in that way. It's sort of, rather than having to be sort of a strong female by having thick tights and sort of ugly jumpers on, it's sort of being able to be empowered by finding something beautiful in the sexualization of the female form. I'm blushing.